In 2014, a family bought their dream house in Westfield, New Jersey, a quiet and wealthy neighborhood where nothing unusual ever seemed to happen. The house was large, beautiful, and perfect for their 3 children, and they were excited to start a new chapter of their lives. Before moving in, they began simple renovations, painting walls and fixing small details. One evening, the father walked to the mailbox expecting bills or advertisements, but inside he found a strange handwritten letter addressed only to the new owner. There was no return address, and the handwriting looked careful and old-fashioned. At first, it seemed like a welcome note, but the tone quickly became unsettling. The writer introduced himself as the Watcher and claimed that his family had been watching the house for generations. He wrote that the house had been the subject of his family's attention for decades, and that now it was his turn to watch it. He asked if the new owners had found what was hidden inside the walls. He mentioned the children specifically and asked for their names. The father felt a chill and showed the letter to his wife. They were disturbed but tried to stay calm. They contacted the police, who told them not to share the letter with neighbors to avoid panic. A few days later, another letter arrived. This one mentioned the children again and described where they liked to play. It asked if they were afraid yet. The family had not even moved into the house, yet someone seemed to be observing them closely. They checked the property carefully, but found no cameras and no signs of forced entry. The neighbors were questioned, and most claimed they knew nothing about any letters. One neighbor seemed unusual to investigators, but there was never enough evidence to accuse anyone. More letters continued to arrive, each one referencing details about the renovations and the family's plans. The writer referred to the property as "my house" and asked when the young blood would fill its rooms. The language was disturbing, but never directly violent. The police investigated seriously, bringing in handwriting experts and attempting DNA testing from the envelopes. No useful results came back. The family installed security cameras around the house, hoping to catch someone approaching the mailbox. The cameras recorded nothing suspicious. Months passed and the letters stopped briefly, giving the family a small sense of relief. Then they started again, reminding them that the Watcher was still there. Fear replaced excitement, and the dream home no longer felt safe. The family decided not to move in at all. They attempted to sell the house, but once news of the letters became public, potential buyers hesitated. Media outlets across the country reported the strange story, turning the quiet home into a national mystery. Some people believed it was an elaborate prank, others believed it was a jealous neighbor. Online forums filled with theories, but no proof ever surfaced. The police never identified a suspect, and no arrests were made. The letters were confirmed to be real, and the fear they caused was undeniable. The family suffered financial loss and emotional stress, eventually becoming involved in legal disputes connected to the property. The neighborhood grew divided, with some residents angry about the publicity and others frightened by the idea that someone nearby could be secretly watching. For a long time, the house stood mostly empty. Eventually, it was sold again, and new owners moved in quietly. Reports of letters became less frequent, and public attention slowly faded. Still, the identity of the Watcher was never discovered. The motive was never explained. The case remains officially unsolved. The house still stands in Westfield, looking completely normal from the outside, with trimmed lawns and peaceful streets surrounding it. Nothing about it suggests fear or mystery, yet its history changed one family's life forever. There were no ghosts, no visible intruders, and no dramatic confrontations. The terror came from words on paper and the idea of unseen eyes observing from somewhere close. Someone knew too much about that family. Someone chose to stay hidden. The police file remains open, and investigators admit that without new evidence, the mystery may never be solved. The Watcher was never caught, never identified, and never publicly revealed. The letters stopped, but the questions never did. Who wrote them? Who watched the house? Who knew those private details? And why? The story is real, documented, and still discussed years later. It happened in a normal American town to an ordinary family who only wanted a safe home. Instead, they found themselves part of one of the strangest unsolved mysteries in modern America. A case where no one was physically harmed, yet fear took control. The house remains quiet today, but the legend of the Watcher continues, reminding people that sometimes the most frightening threats are the ones you cannot see.